So let's say we don't want to have facing pages and we want to have a digital PDF, and we don't need spreads because we want it to be a single page PDF that has multiple pages. We don't need spreads. This is digital. What we're going to do is we're going to go up to File, go down to Document Setup. Anytime you want to change what we just created, we're going to unclick facing pages. So we're just unclicking facing pages, and I'm going to click on OK. So you'll notice everything becomes single pages all the way down. This is perfect for anything digital. If you're going to have a digital PDF, if you want to have a lookbook, if you want to put your services on multiple pages, if you want to have a portfolio PDF, single pages is probably the way to go. So you just have to go up and unclick facing pages. But since we're going to be doing some editorial magazine designs and layouts, for an example to learn InDesign, we're going to go back into Document Setup and we're going to click on Facing Pages again, and now we're ready to do spreads. And while we're talking about the pages and how that works, I wanted to go over something that's really unique to Adobe InDesign that no other Adobe program has, and that is master pages. Master pages save a ton of time. If you have a 100-page book and you want to have the same header on top, maybe it's a blue bar that's across the top, you can, instead of copying and pasting that blue bar, let's say I have a blue bar here and I'm going to have a title here. Let's go ahead and make it blue. And I have a little title here that I want to have. I can hold down Option and drag and keep doing this for 100 pages, or I can use master pages and do it in one click. So this is how we're going to do it with master pages. Is you have something up here on your pages panel and it's called master. So let's go ahead and click on this master spread right here. I'm going to go ahead and double click, and it's going to open it up almost in a new window. It's going to be different from the pages. This is its own little page right here. And let's say we want to have that blue bar across. We want to do that on all pages because we want to have a title. Maybe have it spread all the way across. So we want all of our spreads to have this blue bar. So what we're going to do is this is our master, and let's say we want to apply that on all of these. So we're going to select all of them. We're going to right click, and we're going to do Apply Master to Pages. So we're going to be taking this master page and applying that template to all of the pages. So Apply Master to Pages. And you can create multiple master pages, so you can have different kind of templates. You may want to have half of your document have the blue bar. You may want to switch to a different chapter and have a green bar. You can have as many masters as you'd like. So right now I just have a master, which is the default, and I'm going to apply it to all pages. You click on OK, and now that we go through our document, look at that. Look how much time that saved us. So let's say I don't want to make it a blue bar. We click right up here to our master spread that we created, and let's make it green, and look, it will automatically apply it to all my pages. So pretty cool, huh? So you can also go back up to master and you can right click and you can create a new master. So we're creating a new master. We can call it anything we want. Let's call it B. Click on OK. We can drag it down so we can see our B master. So let's say we want to do something different. Let's say we want to have a little circle here that will have our page number, and we want to have it be purple. Just like that. We want to have a purple thing right there, and maybe we have it on the other side. Just a little quick example. Nothing that I would do personally, but just kind of an example of how this would work. So we have all this A master applied. Let's apply the B master to all of these. So select all, right click, and I am going to apply master to pages, but this time I'm going to do the B master. And I'm going to click on OK, and magically I have that option available. Let's say I want to do the circles on certain pages and the green bar on other pages. We can mix and match masters. So let's say I want page 1 through 7 to remain circles, but I want to have pages 8 through 13 have the green bar. So now I can just select those specific pages, right click, go to Apply Master Pages, and I am going to make sure it's the A master. Click on OK, and there we go. We have two different kinds of masters applied there. So whenever you want to have something similar, usually it's a header. or page numbers or specific things you want to have on multiple pages, you're going to want to be able to utilize master pages. That's probably one of the best tools that you have in InDesign and a great way to manage so many different pages. Let's go ahead and get rid of all of our master page applications. Let's go ahead and click it all. We're going to right click right here in the middle, and we are going to apply to master pages. And we're going to click on none. So it's going to erase it, and it's all going to be just a blank template. So now we're ready to kind of experiment a little bit and work with photos and text to kind of get used to the basic tools. So this is our first project we're going to do. We're going to actually use Photoshop a little bit to help us crop this guy's helmet in the background to kind of give it this cool layered look. And we're going to be using typography. And so one thing we're going to want to do is let's go ahead and bring up Photoshop. Okay, and you can find this photo that I'm going to be using here on pexels.com. I have the link, but you can use any photo you'd like and apply the same effect. So I'm just going to drag this into Photoshop. It's going to open up a new document for me. This is what I want to do. I want to create that layered effect that we just saw. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use layering masks. So one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to select our photo. I am going to duplicate the photo. So I'm just going to do Command C, Command V, just make a quick copy. And then I'm going to cheat a little bit. I have Photoshop 2020 and I have a great tool that I can get. Let me go ahead and drag this up here so you can not get that confused with InDesign. Since they're the same color, they're the same dark gray. I'm going to go Select and Subject. So that's going to select this very quickly for us. And all we really needed is that top head part cut off, and I think that did a good job. So for the second duplicate layer, I'm going to take this selection and make a clipping mask, and I'm going to do the same thing down here. So now we have that helmet clipped out, so that's what we have. And for this background, I'm going to clip that as well. So I'm just going to draw a box here. That's my selection, and I'm going to clip that. So it kind of gives it that cutout cool look that we want to go for. And so let's go ahead and save this. So we're going to save this to our desktop or wherever you'd like to keep all of your InDesign files. And I'm going to say person cutout, whatever you want to say. I'm going to go ahead and save this. And what I did is I saved it as a Photoshop file. So you'll notice it is a PSD. And I can bring this right into InDesign. So how do we bring in photos into InDesign? Well, you can do it similarly to Photoshop, where you bring in a container. And it's going to be a lot easier to use the frame tools than it is to just bring in a photo. So let's say I just want to drag in a photo. I can do that, go into desktop, I want to drag in my photo, or in this case my Photoshop document, and it comes in super big and it's kind of awkward. So let's go ahead and use the frame tool and use the rectangle frame tool right here, and we're just going to bring him in on the first left part of the spread. So there it is, there's our frame. You can always tell it's a frame with the X indication. And I'm going to bring in my Photoshop file and it's going to populate right in there. And you'll notice that it didn't quite crop it really well, and that's very typical and very normal. There's lots of ways we can crop this easily by right-clicking. We're going to go down to fitting, and we're going to be doing this a lot in this class. And there's a couple of great options where you can automatically frame or fit this photo, and I'm going to try the fill frame proportionally. So it's going to fill it in and bring it down to kind of this normal size. And there's a couple other fitting options, and we're going to do that a lot here shortly. So I have this brought in, and so I can always adjust this and bring this down. What's great about bringing in a Photoshop file into InDesign is I can click this, and same goes for JPEGs and PNGs as well. I can right-click this and go down to Edit With, and you have some different Adobe programs installed that I can use. I can bring it back into Photoshop as a PSD file, and let's say I want to add an effect. Let's say I want to do a cool duotone effect. So I'm going to go to Image Mode, and we've done this in prior lessons. I'm just making this grayscale, and then I'm going to add a really cool, just going to Image Mode, just going to do a cool duotone effect, and that looks great right out of the box. So I'm just applying these two colors, and I'm going to click on OK. And what's great about this is I can go to File, I can save it. So I'm just saving my Photoshop file, and it should automatically populate and update in InDesign. So it's already updated. So that's really, really nice. You could do the same thing with JPEGs. You don't always have to have it be a Photoshop file. You can edit photos in the same way, and you don't have to sit there and export a JPEG and drag it back in. It automatically populates for you and changes it. So let's go ahead and crop this a little bit, and also let's go ahead and bring this up a little bit. And another thing is, you'll notice these margins, these little pink lines. This is going to be our margin. Let's say we don't want to see all this see this bounding box that we have over here, and we have all these kind of indications and margins and lines. Let's see, we want to get a really crisp, clear view without any margins. We're going to press the W key on our keyboard, so W, and I can toggle all on and off margins and grids and get a clear look, so I don't have to have any of those lines getting in the way of me looking at my design. So just press W and you have your margins, and just unpress it and click it again, and then here we have a nice clean view we can mess with. So next we're going to do the headline.